You hear those birds, right? It's not just me. Birds.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm talking about my favorite multitask brushes. I'm gonna do a full face of makeup with just 4 brushes and they're all drugstore. So if you wanna see my pics and how I got this look, just keep watching. So the first thing I applied today was my foundation and my concealer. For this, I am using the Real Techniques Expert Face brush. Let me also throw in a mention for the buffing brush. I think they're very, very similar. If I had to pick, I prefer the buffing brush. I find it to be just a little bit softer, but I get the same look, and I wanted to use the Expert Face brush today because this you can buy separately. So if you're really on a budget and just trying to get the bare necessities, this would be a good pick. So I used this for my foundation, and then I used this to blend in my concealer, and I also used this to set my under eyes. So when I'm using a loose powder to set my under eyes, I really like to use a slightly denser brush than you might typically think of for powder. For me, it just helps me to pack the powder right on top of the concealer, and then I can kind of buff it away. So that is why I use this for all 3 of those steps. So this is an excellent multitask brush. For the powder for the rest of my face, however, I don't stick with that brush. I switch to the e.l.f. Complexion Brush. And this is really one of the stars of the video today. This and the eyeshadow brush I'm going to show you are what inspired me to make this video. I like this brush so much. I have 2 of them because you can use this brush for everything on your face. So the first thing I did is I went in with my face powder and just brushed this all over. And then I took this into my bronzer. Now I am doing a little bit of a contour with this look, which is not my everyday thing, but I wanted to show a full face of makeup with 4 brushes. So before I contour, I like to bronze a little bit with a lighter shade just to kind of help the contour go on more evenly. So that's what I did with this. I took it on my cheekbones, around my forehead, and then on my jawline and down my neck a little bit for everything to blend. This brush is super soft. I've had it for years. It washes well, and it's $3. I also used this brush for my blush, and one of the reasons that this brush works so well for all of these things is that it's pinched a little bit at the ferrule here, which makes it more of kind of an oval shape, so that when you turn it on its side, you can really get on the cheekbone, you can get under the cheekbone, you can kind of target where you want that. So I think this brush applies beautifully. Powder, blush, bronzer, you really can't go wrong, and for $3, you know you need this in your collection. Now going back to the contour step, and I say going back because I do prefer to apply contour before blush, I am going with the Real Techniques setting brush. Now this is called a setting brush, but you'll notice I didn't use it to set my makeup. In fact, I never use it for that. What I really use this brush for is contour and highlight. So I like this brush because it's very tapered to the tip. So if you get the product right on the tip, you're gonna get a thin line that you can blend out with the fluffiness that goes on around the brush. So I dipped the tip into my contour powder and just very lightly traced that line, started blending it out. Of course, you can blend it out more if you go back to the complexion brush, but this is absolutely my favorite brush to contour with, whether I'm trying to use minimal brushes or not. And I also like to use this for highlight. Now here's where I should mention one of my other tricks for multi-use brushes, which is a washcloth. So once your brush gets a little bit of powder on it, don't worry, you can still use it. All you have to do is just lightly brush it off on that washcloth and you're good to go. Now I know a lot of people have those Vera Mona switch things, which is like a spongy thing you rub your brush in and it cleans it off. You can use that too, but I'm cheap, so I just use this and it works for me. And for highlight, I like to take kind of the flatter edge of the tip of that brush, brush it right on the cheekbones, and you're good to go. So I mentioned that the e.l.f. Complexion Brush was one of the stars of the show, and the other is the Real Techniques Base Shadow Brush, because I am going to use this one single eyeshadow brush to do my whole eye look. Now, I will mention that this brush is part of a set. I do think the set is a good deal. I like all of the brushes in the set, but other brands make similar brushes if you don't want to buy the whole set. What I like about this brush, it's very reminiscent of the setting brush, but smaller, because It's kind of fluffier around the center and then comes to a point. And it's also pinched at the ferrule again so that it's nice and flat. And because of that, you can use it to pack shadow on the eye, you can use the tip to get in more precisely, and the fluffiness helps it blend things out. So the first thing I did is I took this brush to just set my primer. I'm using the Tartelette Tease palette today, and I took the lightest matte shade called Whisper to just set all over the eye area so that the primer isn't sticky and my other shades can blend more easily. And then I used Wink, which is just a little bit deeper as a transition shade, put that all over the crease area. And then for a deeper crease color, I went in with BFF, which is a matte purple. And for this, I started with the tip of the brush to really precisely apply, and then you just blend and you blend and you blend and you blend until you're happy with it. Now, I'm gonna be honest, if you wanted to pull in a blending brush like the IT Cosmetics for Ulta Blending Crease Brush, or even the Wet n Wild Crease Brush, which is only 99 cents, it would make this go faster, but this works just as well. And then on the lid, I used the two shimmer shades, Crush and First Kiss. And then one of my favorite things to do with this brush is to use it on the lower lash line, because with that point at the tip, you can get right under the lashes, but still have it look really diffused and blended. So I went in with BFF again under the lower lashes. So that's how I get this easy everyday makeup look using only 4 brushes, and they're all drugstore. What are your favorite multitask brushes that you find yourself reaching for over and over and over again in your makeup routine? Let me know down in the comments so I can check those out. Thanks for stopping by today. Remember to hop on over to Instagram and Twitter and follow me at Robin's Cup, and hit that subscribe button so I can see you guys here next time.
Pics and how I got this look. Words are hard. What are those noises? What's happening to me? I'm insufficiently caffeinated.
Pigmented and buttery and soft. They blend nicely. The one thing I will say about these Lorac eyeshadows is you better have some good brushes, because when I first got this, I did